Thank you for listening to this Podcast One production. Available on Apple Podcasts and Podcast One.
It's that time of year again. Time to set new goals and resolutions. You know, they're pretty easy to make, but they're harder to stick to. And at Audible, we believe that listening can motivate, inspire, inform, and help you to be more successful in 2020 and beyond. No matter what your resolution or goal is this year, you're going to find the perfect audiobook at Audible to motivate and inspire you. Whether it's getting physically fit, financially fit, or even being a better parent, leader, or person, it's all on Audible. And to help motivate you, get this, Audible is issuing a challenge to current and new members. Finish 3 audiobooks by March 3rd and get a $20 Amazon credit. It's just that simple. Finish 3 by 3-3, get it? Finish 3 by March 3rd, and you'll get $20. How easy is that? There's nothing to enter. Audible will keep track of your progress for you. Let me give you some examples of what I picked out, because these are the 3 that I'm going to work on for the new year and get myself motivated. Now, first of all, I want to start with a book called Comfort Zone, Stepping Beyond. Here's the deal with me. When I was younger, I had a real hard time getting out of my comfort zone, stepping beyond, and asking for things. I was a real shy, sensitive kid. I couldn't say, can I have that? Should I have that? I even had a problem asking for dates and when it came to business, asking for a sale. I couldn't do anything, to be honest with you. I was pretty frozen. Sure, it was cute. Sure, it was adorable, and it didn't do anything for me for the ladies. It didn't do anything for me for sales. It didn't do anything for me to get ahead in life, because if you don't ask, you don't get, right? That's kind of getting out of our comfort zone. It's stepping beyond. There's an audiobook waiting for you right now on Audible, and it's called Comfort Zone, Stepping Beyond, 10 real-life inspirational short stories for fearless living. Take action, inspire others, travel the world, find true love, leave a legacy, by Russell C. James. And it's narrated by Ryan Sitzberger. It's only 3 hours and 2 minutes long, and it is absolutely going to change your life. And right now, it's free with a 30-day trial. Take a look at that. That's one of those 3 books that I'm going to look into. Second one I want to look into is going to be great for all your metaphysical needs and all you metaphysical people out there. It's called How to Kiss the Universe, an inspiration, spiritual, and metaphysical narrative about human origin, essence, and destiny. It's by Yosef Simikovich. It's absolutely perfect for all of our people who are into self-development and meditation. Inspirational, spiritual, metaphysical, enough to get you going in the new year. The third audiobook that's waiting for you at Audible that I'm recommending is from Trevor Noah from The Daily Show. I love The Daily Show. I love Trevor Noah. Saw him live. He's absolutely amazing. And he's got an audiobook out there called Born a Crime, Stories from a South African Childhood. That's actually his biography. It's stories from his childhood in South Africa. It's endearing. It's funny. It's engaging. And it's waiting for you right now at Audible. You absolutely want to get a hold of Trevor Noah's new audiobook, Born a Crime, Stories from a South African Childhood. Now, how easy is that? There's nothing to enter. Audible keeps track of all the progress for you. It's that simple. Audible members can choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook, and 2 exclusive Audible Originals that you can't hear anywhere else. Audible members also get access to exclusive guided fitness programs to help start the new year off right. Listen on any device, anytime, anywhere, at home, at the gym, on your commute, or just on the go. You'll also enjoy easy exchanges for any audiobook you don't love and on an audiobook library you keep forever, even if you cancel. So how do you do it? How do you get a hold of this great deal? Well, it's real simple. You can start listening right now with a 30-day Audible trial. You can choose 1 audiobook and 2 Audible Originals absolutely free. All you do is just visit audible.com/BTD like Beyond the Darkness or text BTD like Beyond the Darkness to 500-500. That's texting BTD to 500-500. We encourage you to go out there and get something that's going to change your life this beginning of 2020, something that's going to inspire you, that'll not only paranormally or metaphysically call to you, but something that'll also change this 2020 for you and start this new decade off on the right foot. You know, like I said, comfort zone, How to Kiss the Universe and Trevor Noah's new audiobook, for me, is something that I'm going for. I want you to check out Audible today and take a look at what it is that's going to change your decade. How do you do it? One more time. You can get one audiobook and 2 Audible Originals absolutely free. Again, visit audible.com/BTD or text BTD to 500-500 to get one audiobook and 2 Audible Originals absolutely free. We think you're going to be absolutely pleased with Audible and that you're going to change your life through the magic of audiobooks. Please give it a try. You'll be glad you did.
There is a place that is spoken about only in whispers, a dark area that spawns the beginnings of urban legends, a place where anything can happen and usually does. During the light of day, it hides just outside of view. But when the sun goes down, spirits, creatures of the night, roam free, and things do go bump in the night. It is in every state and every country, and there is no escaping it, no matter how safe you feel behind your locked doors and latched windows. So we invite you to turn down the lights and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Good evening and welcome. You're tuned into the best in paranormal talk radio live aboard the Jericho Cruise 2, Part 2, Tim.
Part 2.
This is Beyond the Darkness. Yeah, live studio audience. I like this, Tim.
This is nice.
Tim, I've got to tell you, before we get started, we often like to read letters from our emails from our listeners.
Yes.
And we are always open to suggestions to make the show better.
Always.
And when we're called out by a country, Tim,
an entire country,
telling us that the word a boot is not Canadian, and nobody in Canada says a boot.
Not a one.
I feel bad because I'm like, maybe we've been mocking a false stereotype, Tim.
I don't think we have.
Maybe we've been presenting the wrong story, and you and I are about truth, justice, and the American and now Canadian way.
Yeah, or Newfoundland. Either one.
I figured out, what could we do to find the answer? And as fates would have it, Tim, sitting to my immediate right, we have the Canadian contingent. Yes. We have Pippin, Kaylee, and Hunter that are from Canada.
Sounds very Canadian.
And they are from Canada, Tim.
Really?
Yeah.
The entire
That's where
country
Canadians are from. Yes. And I asked them a question off air. Now I'm going to stand up. I'm going to ask them.
You need to ask them how close to Texas they are in Canada.
Yeah, we'll find that out because that's an important bit. All right. So
that.
I've got Kayla in front of me. Kayla. I know, that doesn't matter. Nobody cares at home.
Nobody really
Just relax.
cares. Yeah.
5 minutes of fame and she's already got her head big. So I need to know specifically. The person wrote into us and said, Dave, Tim, I take offense at the fact that you said Canadians say a boot because nobody in Canada says a boot. I need you to tell me the truth now, Kayla.
Well, it actually, you can hear people say it in Canada. It's a
Score! Oh!
Dun, 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 dun. High five!
Did you hear that? A Canadian said that in Canada, they do say the word...
a boot.
Thank you. And you just heard a Canadian say it.
A boot.
Proof. This is all I needed. Today
gosh.
is Supernatural News Parashare, and we've got a great audience here. We are literally surrounded by 8s of people, Tim.
I'm overwhelmed.
It is. They pit us up against one of the biggest matches aboard the ship for wrestling tonight. But the true paranormal fans are here with us, Tim.
That's
either
right.
that or they're drunk and wandered in waiting for a Killer Queen cover band in a little bit. But either way, they're ours right now.
That's me.
Yes, is that you? Great.
I think there's also a sign that says free buffet outside as well.
That could be it.
Yeah, there's that.
So we've got, so this is exciting. We've got live audience members. I've been priming them beforehand, and they have stories to share, Tim.
Oh.
So this week, no call-ins. Screw the callers this week, Tim. We've got live bodies on the ship that are willing to share their paranormal encounters with us.
Can we still put them through a phone?
Yeah, no, that doesn't do us any good. We've got Supernatural News. Tim's at the Supernatural News desk. So let us begin. Tim, where are we going to go this week?
Well, Dave,
Supernatural News.
We're just going to go to the land of real-life Ghostbusters. You too, folks, can now become a real-life Ghostbuster.
How does this work?
You just buy the outfit, And the
No,
little
that's not
air
true.
gun?
I own the outfit, and it does not make me a
It doesn't work that way?
No.
In that case...
Is there a school that's actually teaching ghost hunting and paranormal investigations now, and we can be taken seriously as a community?
We're talking a real-life university, Dave.
Real life, all right. Tell me more.
Yeah. If you assume that academics are boring and all university courses are dull, then think again. Think again.
I still think they're boring and dull.
Okay, yeah, they are.
All right.
They are. According to Edinburgh Live, is that correct, Canadians? Is that how it's pronounced?
They're Canadians, not Scottish, Tim. That's the guy with the Tam O'Shanter over here.
The what shanty? What is he wearing?
Tam O'Shanter. That's the hat, the tip of the hat that he's wearing.
I thought there was a page.
It's a flat cap.
Page boy cap, isn't that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Tam O'Shanters are those kind of round. They're like the red berets of Scotland.
They killed William Shatner to make that cap?
No. Tam O'Shanter. All right, so let's Edinburgh. What's going on?
Yeah, according to Edinburgh Live, there is a psychology department at the University of Edinburgh devoted entirely to the paranormal. After taking the course, you'll become an expert in mental and metaphysical phenomena.
We have a live crowd to help us this time. Phenomena. 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 I like it.
It fell apart.
The Canadians had it.
Yeah,
they knew their part.
It
The rest of them are drunk Americans, and there's no excuse.
Yeah.
All right, so there's paranormal phenomena.
Yes, the Kessler Parapsychology Unit can be done as a PhD or online course, and it covers a variety of strange topics, including ghosts, premonitions, psychokinesis, and ESP, or extrasensory perception. I've had a few myself, so pardon me. This course at the otherwise traditional university dates back to 1962 and was established by Dr. John Beloff, a lecturer in the Department of Psychology. Beloff researched and taught parapsychology at Edinburgh University.
God, you're going to dislocate something.
I did, yeah. Until he retired in 1985, his research attracted the attention of Arthur Kessler, a notable writer who bequeathed their estate in order to establish a chair of parapsychology at a British university. Kessler and his wife intended to research the paranormal, particularly psychokinesis, or those who interact with their environment by means other than the recognized sensory and motor channels. Kessler gave the department the funds they needed to get off the ground, and it has only improved in advance since then. Using a procedure called Gansfield, researchers and students at the university can study extrasensory perception, or ESP, and psychokinesis. The Kessler Parapsychology website describes this procedure as a mild sensory isolation procedure that some researchers believe to be conducive to extrasensory perception, or ESP. In a standard Gansfield ESP study, one participant, the sender, attempts to mentally communicate a randomly chosen image or film clip, which is the target, to another participant, which is the receiver. The sender and the receiver are placed in separate rooms. The receiver reclines in a comfortable chair, much like Dave is doing right now, and wears translucent eye shields, is bathed in a red light, and listens to white noise. Roxanne! Yeah, kind of like that. It's very
I think I dislocated something.
Did you? Yeah.
My uvula.
How'd that feel? A target is then randomly chosen from a large selection of images or films and is shown to the sender. While the sender looks at the target, the receiver describes any thoughts or images that come to mind. This sounds like Saturday night at my place.
This is like the beginning of Ghostbusters, where Peter Venkman's holding up the cards.
Yeah.
Right? And trying to see if they can actually pick up on the images.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. If you want to try the Otherworldly Research Unit for yourself, there is an 11-week distance learning online course. We're not going to give you the address because obviously we think you have better things to do with your time. But
we should start our own courses. If that's all they're offering?
That's it, yeah.
All right, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Ladies, have you already figured out your futures? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Actually, I do.
You do? Just one of the three of you? The other two of you? All three of you? Boy, they are Canadians, not Canadians.
That's right.
They know exactly what their future holds.
They are Canadians.
You think you'll be paranormal investigators?
I actually wanted to be one when I was like 5 or 6, but that's not.
Now that you've grown up and realize it's childish, you're past it.
Now that I realize there's something that I want to do that saves lives.
Very nice. We're just trying to save lives in the afterlife. That's our job as paranormal investigators.
Right.
What's our next story?
Next story is about the haunted Ealing house, Dave, where people feel the urge to jump off the roof.
What?
Yeah, you get a little bored, you're up there, you're looking at the clouds, and all of a sudden, no, I think I'll take a step off.
So you get called to this house, you feel part of it, and then, all right, I got to hear how this takes you from inside the house to the roof and jumping to your death.
Sure. A famous London ghost hunter says an experience there inspired his interest in the paranormal. Evidently, it wasn't jumping off the roof, that's for sure. He's still writing about it. Towards the end of World War II, a young boy came across an abandoned house in West London. Given the ongoing Blitz, this wasn't an abnormal sight, but the boy was struck by the strange tower coming out of the top of the rundown building. Visiting with his father, the young boy, Andrew Green, decided to explore number 16 in Montpelier Road while his dad, a council housing officer, got down to work. Andrew, who later became a famous ghost hunter known as the Spectre Inspector, which is quite catchy.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that is. Experienced at this Ealing house something both frightening and incredible. He claimed that as he climbed the rungs of the ladder up to the top of the tower, he felt something gripping him and helping his ascent. That sounds painful or enjoyable, one or the other. Yeah. As he looked out over the roofs at West London, he said he heard his voice, or heard a voice rather, in his blank page. This is the suspenseful part of the story. He heard a voice say, "It's only 12 inches down to the lawn. You won't hurt yourself." Oh, there's a lie if you ever heard one.
It's only 12. First of all, how do you get up on the roof and then even, I don't care, show of hands. If you're up on a roof and you hear a voice go, "Oh, it's only 12 inches, you won't hurt yourself," how many of you might call bullshit on the voice in your head? For those of you listening, every hand is up except for my son, who's over there going, "Well, the ghosts might know better than me, Dad."
So the voice is said to have continued as Andrew walked past strange symbols carved into the brickwork. He was, again, walking over the parapet into the garden. Just as he was ready to jump, because, yes, evidently he trusted this ghost, his father grabbed him. But the boy's experience had sparked his interest in the paranormal nonetheless. After some research, he found that the house had actually been the site of 20 suicides in 60 years.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's not really a big selling feature in a real estate market, is it?
No.
Spacious kitchen. We've got a great furnished basement, and only 20 suicides have happened in the last 60 years. Great seller. It's ready to move. 20 suicides in 60 years?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, 1 in every 3 years. Not too bad. Not a shabby average. The hub of which had been the strange tower. That's where most of the suicides had taken place. One death was that of a 12-year-old girl, Anne Hinchfield, who had leapt to her death in 1887. Another was that of a nursemaid, 47 years later, who had thrown herself and the baby out of the tower onto the grass below.
Oh, my God.
It's a twofer, Dave.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
Worst babysitter ever.
Yeah. Not going to get extra from that.
No, the tip is not going to be good for her.
No.
Good God.
Other paranormal experiences have been reported at the house, from footprints appearing in the grass to objects going missing. Even the atmosphere of the building was said to be so uncomfortable that workmen felt the need to leave after a few hours of work. The final confirmation came to Andrew when he got a photo developed that he had taken at the house. The picture showed a young girl's ghostly face in the window of the tower, an image that has appeared on the cover of many of his ghost hunter books. Decades later, the house was demolished and a new block of flats was put up there, Elgin Court, but residents still report strange goings-on. After Andrew Green's book, Our Haunted Kingdom, was published, a woman contacted him with a theory about why the house was cursed. Are you ready for this?
Why?
It was black magic.
Black magic.
Yeah, black magic.
That caused 20 people to plunge to their deaths from the same house.
That's right. That's right. She also told him how she had been a maid in the late 1800s and described how black rugs and candles would be taken to the tower every night as part of some strange magical ritual, something that had added up with the odd symbols he had seen carved into the brickwork. Brickwork. I can't say it.
So there's just black magic in this house that's causing this.
That's caused the 60 suicides.
20 suicides.
Or 20 suicides
years.
in 60 years.
Jeez, that's crazy.
I'll get it right.
You dig in. How many people have you ever? I love the memes that were out a few years ago. Where did you guys see it? Where there's like the vent in the floor, and the people are putting in new carpeting, so they put bloody handprints on the floor with red paint and smear it to the hole, and it says "Help me" scratched on the floor, so that whoever pulls up the carpet next, that's what they get to see. You walk into a house, would it stop anybody? If you were going in to buy a new house, you got a really good deal, and then you see like strange symbols carved into the bricks. Would that stop you?
Yes.
No? No? Just symbols?
Suicide would stop.
Well, if you knew about them, right? Yeah.
I'd like that.
Pippin, you would like that?
I would like that. It would be cool if it was just on my walls and I could look at that every day and say, I remember when I moved into this house.
Can you please move your chair a little bit further away from me? Pippin's freaking me out. Eric has a story or two for us, Tim.
Oh, good.
Don't worry, girls. We're coming back to the Canadians in a bit. We've got Parashare going on now. So we've got live audience members willing to share their paranormal stories with us. If you'd like to be a part of our program, too bad we're on a ship and you can't call in. But thankfully, we have a live audience that can do this for us. Eric, where are you from?
Grand Junction, Colorado.
All right. Now, is this a ghost story, Bigfoot story, alien story, or all of the above?
It's UFC.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, Tim.
It
is a UFC.
I would take
a
the
UFC fighter.
I would take that UFC story if he's got it. Yeah.
UFO story.
UFO, sir.
Okay. And did this also take place in Colorado?
Yes.
Okay. The microphone is yours.
So I was driving home probably about 13 years ago on the highway in Grand Junction, Colorado. And I saw probably a rectangle about 1.5 lengths of the ship and about maybe a yard long, tall, just over in my left-hand side of driving home. Then all of a sudden it just disappeared. And then maybe 30 seconds later it just appeared lower and in my right-hand side. Same size, just a rectangle of solid light, like LED light. So I was driving by myself home, and I was like, what the hell is that? And then it just disappeared, so I was driving home, and then a little later, it just appeared on my left-hand side.
So you see it once, then it's on your right-hand side, disappears, then it appears again on your left-hand side.
Exactly.
Is there any sound with this?
No, I was driving on the highway by myself, listening to music.
What were you listening to?
Black Sabbath.
Well, this is starting to make sense to me, folks. Right? So, Black Sabbath, you start seeing these lighted... But now you said it was half the length of this ship.
No. The length and a half of the ship.
Okay, so of this ship.
Yeah, of this ship.
The full length and then another half.
Yes.
But yet it's only a yard tall.
Yeah, it was way small.
Smurfs?
I have no clue.
Okay. But it makes no sound.
No sound.
Is it casting a shadow? Is it disturbing anything as it's flying over?
No, it was just hovering there. And then I was driving and it disappeared for probably 30 seconds. And then it appeared on the other side. Lower and in the trees.
So it's moving through the trees?
No, it was hovering over here and then it disappeared and then just hovering over here.
Okay. Is there any chance you were seeing a reflection of something in your car on the window?
No.
None?
No.
All right.
It was, like I said, it was like
Did you have any
LED.
missing time?
No.
No?
No.
So you got where you were going?
I got where I was going.
How long was it with you until it just vanished?
The first time it was like I said, I saw it for about 30 seconds, disappeared about 30 seconds, and it appeared again about 30 seconds, and it was gone.
Okay.
So, a minute and a half.
Total minute and a half you've seen it.
Yes.
Okay. And you've never seen anything like that since?
No, nothing like that.
Colorado's crazy because I'm hearing more and more stories from Colorado. Our good friend Bill Chappell lives out in Colorado. He creates a lot of the equipment you see on a lot of the ghost shows, Ghost Adventures and Paranormal State and Ghost Hunters and even on our show, The Holzer Files. And he said the skies are really bizarre. There's a lot of strange activity taking place over Colorado. But have you ever considered going in to have a regression? There is the theory that if you see a UFO, that means you've been abducted.
No, I haven't. But besides me, my father's also seen a UFO.
Okay.
So, but his was different.
Uh-huh.
It was a round ball. He said probably about 30 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was driving, and then like 3 balls shot out from it, like half the size of it.
Okay.
Shot out from it. But that was...
This is starting to sound like a dirty story, Eric. So my father's balls started shooting out balls.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then we were born, and now I see you in balls. That is all right.
But what he saw was an orange ball of light up in the sky in southern Colorado. And then 3 balls shot out from underneath it.
Gotcha.
It was just him and my uncles just saw it.
That's it.
Nobody else saw it.
Okay. And did they take off, or did they follow them for a while?
They just shot out from underneath it and then just took off.
Okay.
And 30 years later, I saw this giant rectangle of a thing in the sky.
Now, was this your only encounter with UFOs?
No. That was like I said, 13 years ago. And then
dun, dun, dun. The plot thickens, Tim. There's more. Hold on. Yes, Eric.
And then probably about 5 years ago, I'd say, I saw just some, like what my father saw, a orange ball of light just zooming through the sky, driving home from work. Like I said, it was probably going 100 miles an hour through the sky.
So, not only you saw your UFOs, but you saw your father's balls flying through the skies as well.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
I can't help you with this story, Eric. This is terrifying. Do you have other paranormal stories to share with us?
I have one that happened 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. All right.
Yes, it was.
Freshen us up. What have we got?
It was. I was sleeping. It's what do you call it?
Napping? Dreaming?
No.
Drunken stupor? Help me out, Eric. Any of these words will work.
Sleep paralysis.
Okay, you had sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. I fell asleep for about an hour, and then I woke up to something slithering across my ankles, and it slithered across my knees. So it felt like a snake, and then I woke up when it slithered across my knees, and then it just shot straight up towards my neck, and I just covered myself with my blankets and said, "Please, God, help me," and it disappeared.
Do you think it was the thread count of the sheets that stopped it? Thank God for these Egyptian 6,000 thread count sheets.
Oh, if only I had 6,000.
Wow. So, I don't know what kind of weird phallic stuff this guy's into, Tim. Balls and snakes slithering all over him. Eric, that is bizarre. Do you feel like you're being singled out by the supernatural?
Not really. It's been, like I said, 13 years
Okay.
between experiences. I don't think it so.
Okay.
But it might be because I listen to you guys.
Oh, yeah, try to blame us. Because it's 14 years on the air, so you've only had these experiences since you started listening to our show.
Exactly.
How do you feel, though, about the dark shadow that stands behind you?
What dark shadow?
Oh, that's for another show, Eric. Thanks. All right, very cool. Thank you very much. Let's hear it for Eric. We're going to make our way around. If you have paranormal stories, raise your hand, and we will try to incorporate you in. Oh, good. A lot of you have stories to share with us.
I'm just kind of curious, real quick, follow up with Eric. You said you called out for God or for Jesus, and how quick between the time you called out and the time you felt relief? Was it instant, or did you have to call out a couple of times, or? It
was instant.
Really?
It like I said, it crossed my knees. Well, crossed my ankles and crossed my knees, and then attacked my throat. But I covered myself in my blankets, and I said, "Please, God, help me," and it was instantly gone.
And it was a very real feeling. It's not like it was like you thought you might have felt something. It was a very
real feeling. I've never felt anything like it before.
Wow. Okay.
In my life.
Interesting.
Yuck. Well, with my fear of snakes, something starts crawling across my ankles, goes across my knees. That's the end. It doesn't make it up to my throat because I'm already dead.
Right, exactly.
Full-on heart attack. I'm coming to join you. All right, what have we got next in Supernatural News?
We go back over the pond. Bathurst Historical House has officially attracted some ghost hunters, Dave. Probably because there's ghosts there.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing. Congratulations, Canadians. You've got some paranormal expeditions. That's what they've named themselves, Canadian Paranormal Expeditions. They're going to spend some time in-house to try to connect with some spirits over there. While she hasn't encountered a ghost herself, Melinda Jarrett, president of the, is it Duquette Hennessy House? Ladies?
Yeah,
Don't you all know each other?
No.
You're Canadians.
You're so racist, Tim. Canadians do not all know one another.
It's a small country.
Or do you guys?
It's right.
It's a small country.
Isn't it?
Very
It's like
big.
the size of Cuba, right?
No?
I don't know what map you're looking at, but if
Ooh, you've been called out. I don't know what map you've been looking at.
I guess.
We got Canadian attitude coming out over here from Kayla. All right, so...
Who's the racist now? Canadian attitude.
well, you heard it.
Wow.
I don't know what map you looking at.
You looking at?
that ain't it.
We'll just say the Duquette Hennessy.
Yeah, that
House, and
works.
I hope
Don't worry
that
about it.
I'm
The
not
Canadians aren't
going
gonna
to
challenge you.
Canadians any further.
Yeah.
It's because they're so close to Texas, Dave.
Yes.
It's that southern heat coming out of them.
Could be.
The Duquette Hennessy House doesn't doubt others may have seen spirits in the historic Bathurst house. With reports over the years of an apparition at the top of the stairs and children playing on the landing, Jarrett said a team of investigators from Canadian, my apologies, Paranormal Expeditions will spend time in the house over the next few days to see if those ghosts will make themselves known. The house is more than 200 years old. The homestead, which sits at the top of the hill on St. Peter's Avenue and overlooks the Bay of Chaleur, was home to the Duquette family first, and then the Hennessy family, which I guess was drunk all the time, Dave.
Ooh.
Yeah, little did we know. With two large families living there and numerous guests over 2 centuries, Jarrett said deaths did occur in the house, and a number of wakes were held there as well. Jarrett went on to say, "I'm a historian and I believe in facts, so I do believe that people believe. There's no question about that." Every time I say that word, he drops a dime.
I've noticed that. He keeps
yeah.
It's like we're telling ghost stories for loose change on the ship.
We are, yeah. That's how we're...
I'm going to throw a hat on the floor and see if Eric will just come up and throw some change.
That's how we're getting back home. There's absolutely no question that people believe that they've had...
Damn it, it's a Canadian quarter, Tim. We can't even use it.
It's worth like 17 cents,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. There's absolutely no question that people believe that they've had experiences in the house, Jarrett went on to say. Jarrett said it is thought that the apparition at the top of the stairs might be Rufus Milliken, a Scottish immigrant who boarded with the Duquette family and died there unexpectedly in the winter of 1818. Rufus was a Protestant, and he was English, and he was in a Catholic Acadian home. He died when it was winter, and they heated the house with wood. The local Protestants were furious, and they wrote about it in a letter to Fredericton, complaining about the treatment of the Protestant, Rufus Milliken, who had died. Fast forward 150 years to the sighting of Milliken's ghost. I guess evidently because for 150 years he was just chilling, not doing much. Nobody really bothered Milliken's ghost. Fast forward. Jarrett said with no embalming done in those days and concerns with preserving the body, the Duquettes put the body out in the snowbank, because why not? They also didn't contact the local Protestant congregation to properly prepare the body. The story goes that there was a young lad in the house. He was walking up the stairs, and he looks up at the he looks up at the top of the stairs, and there's a man standing there. It is a ghost, and he freaked right out. He got such a fright that he fell right backwards, and he fell down the stairs. Jarrett said tenants who lived in the house have claimed there are children dancing or playing on the landing. There is certainly odd behavior by animals in the house barking. What are they barking at? Cats playing? This is what Bathurst went on to ask. Other people claim something has touched them on the shoulder or that they have odd feelings when they're in the house. Bathurst went on to ask the question, but hey, it's an old house and it creaks and it squeaks and it makes noises in the wind and you know it's drafty. Jarrett said the skeptic in her says there's always an explanation, but she says there has to be something to it. Canadian Paranormal Expeditions heard about the house and asked if they could visit to check it out. With the help of mediums, they will try to connect with any spirits in the house. The public is invited to visit the Duquette Hennessy house on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. To meet the crew from Canadian Paranormal Expeditions. I hear they're bringing Timmy Hortons.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Bringing coffee.
Donuts and coffee.
Yeah.
It's Tim Hortons.
Ooh.
Oh,
Canadians, they don't care if you mess up the Jenkinson Duquette house, but don't get Timmy Hortons wrong, Tim.
No, you can't get Timmy Hortons wrong. It's either Timmy's or Tim's or Tim Hortons.
Wow.
And this has been your enriching Canadian moment.
So if I said don't take a look at my Timbits too closely, you'd get mad at me too?
Yes. If she's not, her parents will be upset by it, Tim.
That is if they're not gone already. All right. Jarrett said they are welcome to ask questions about their work and the type of investigating they do. Maybe there are some people that have some more stories to tell about other buildings in the area. That would be neat, is how the story.
Excellent. All right, let's go to the back of the room here. Who had a story back there for me in the blue shirt? All right, I'm making my way, Tim. This is how a fat guy gets his steps in. I go on a cruise ship, get my exercise, paranormal calisthenics. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name's Kevin. I'm from Arkansas.
Hello, Kevin from Arkansas. What type of paranormal story do you have for us?
So we're from a rural town in Arkansas in the Arkansas River Valley near this other town called Dover. And I've always heard growing up that there's these Dover lights and nobody knows what they are or anything like that. And I just thought it was a crock of crap. So one night I get a text from friends and they're like, hey, we're going to go look at the Dover lights. You want to go? And I'm like, sure, why not? I can just make fun of you guys for believing in this. We drive out there. We go to this overlook on Highway 7. We're looking over this valley where there's this river that runs through there, and naturally. And so I'm just kind of making fun of them, and all of a sudden we just see these orbs floating around over the trees. And there's like this kind of fog that rolls in, and it's really creepy, really eerie. I do some research, and there's not a ton done on it. Now wait, let's go back to your experience though. Mm-hmm. Before you start researching what you saw, you see these orbs floating over the trees. Yes.
Are they solid? Are they misty? Can you see through them?
It's solid but kind of blurry.
All right.
And it's multiple orbs, and they're not really going in any type of pattern. They're just kind of floating around, intermingling with each other.
Now, we've heard of things called ball lightning, right? Does this appear to be some kind of lightning or static discharge, or is this like an independent light source just moving about?
It looks like independent light sources moving about.
Or is that a boot for our Canadian friends, Tim? A boot, all right. So it's just moving around by itself.
Yes.
Any noise?
No noise.
Do they come lower or get near you? Do they seem to have an interest in us as humanity, or they just hang out in the trees?
They're just hanging out, floating over the trees.
Now, you're not a believer, and you see this for the first time. What happens? How does that affect you?
I just say, what is that? Like, there's got to be like campers down there.
That's a good question, Tim. What is that?
I'm like, is there campers down there? Are the aliens coming? Are they coming from my butt? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Right
aliens love human ass, don't they? Oh, I can't wait to probe this guy. He's from Arkansas. Look at him. He's asking for it, Tim.
So my friends are like, see, you're making fun of us the whole time, and there it is, and nobody knows what these lights are. People have gone down there whenever people have said that it's going on. No people down there, nothing.
So was that your only experience? Have you gone back out to look at the Dover lights again?
Hell no.
Hell no. You're no butthole play for this fella.
No. Exit only.
Exit only. I like that. Who else had another story back here for us? Anybody? No? Too shy to share? Anybody else back here? You do? All right. She's bidding on an auction over here, Tim. She doesn't want to raise her hand or show her paddle. She's giving me the alfalfa high sign under the chin. What's your name? Where are you from?
Alexis, and we're from a town called Ojai.
Okay.
In Southern California. So we moved to Ojai about 3 years ago. In my second week working in Ojai, there's a road, kind of a windy back road called Creek Road. So if you're using Google Maps, it usually diverts you to take Creek Road. So I had driven it for 2 weeks. In the second week, I was driving home, and I was going around a bend, and I saw a child. He had fair hair as a little boy, plaid shirt, and I thought it was strange that there was a child out there because there was no houses around. So I veered across the double yellow lines, which is dangerous because I could have easily been hit by oncoming traffic. And then
or you could have hit oncoming traffic.
Or I could have hit oncoming traffic.
Look at you pointing directions everywhere else but yourself. All right.
So then I went home, and it kind of like struck me as odd, so I was telling my husband about it.
So it's a tag team, Tim. We're on a wrestling tour, and they're going to pass off the mic. All right. And what's your name? Where are you from?
James from Ojai as well.
All right. Just checking your story out.
Yeah. And so I was telling, as a joke, I said, oh, well, you can just Google everything. It's on Google, right? So if you think you saw a ghost, Google it. So she starts describing the ghost, and I Google it, and it auto-fills the Google search and says, this ghost has been sighted on this road with the same description and the same clothing.
So how did that affect you?
I was trying to tease her, and it backfired.
Yeah? So what have we learned important here? Arkansas, Ojai, don't tease. The paranormal exists whether you want it to or not.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. How did that affect you? I mean, you saw this for yourself. Nodding is not good for radio. Words are better. Use your words, indoor voice.
I wasn't scared or creeped out. I was just kind of like
shocked.
I was kind of shocked, yeah, because I wouldn't say I'm not a skeptic necessarily, but I wasn't a believer either because I'd never had an experience before.
Right, but now you're a believer?
I would say I'm a believer.
Skeptical believer.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that answer. Very good. How about back here? Do we have another story in the back row while I'm back this way? What? You just walked in? They're the drunks looking for the band, Tim. All right, let's do this. We have to take a quick break. We will come back. We've got more of the best in paranormal talk radio. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Beyond the Darkness Live.
Don't you just hate it when people tell you I told you so? Well, guess what? I'm Tim Dennis from Beyond the Darkness. And I told you so. That's right. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you over there, I told you in the corner, and I told you, you cheesehead. Yep, that's you Green Bay Packer. I told you your team wasn't going on to the Super Bowl. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you guys last week that it was going to be San Francisco and Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I told you to put money on it. I told you to go to betonline.ag, and I told you put money on it. I told you to play along with Dave and I. I told you we got this $5,000 season-long charity contest. I told you if you bet on San Francisco and Kansas City that you were going to be one of 5 people to get $100. That $500 reward, remember we're talking about it each week, right? You could be one of those 5 people to get a piece of that $500 reward each week that we give out if we're the winning show. 5 listeners each week. Remember this? Remember? We keep talking about it each week. You should be in on this deal over there at betonline.ag. Remember? Well, guess what? We got both right. Where were you? Huh? Did you bet? Shame on you if you didn't. And if you're a Packer fan, really shame on you if you didn't. I'm just saying. Sorry, Titans fans. Sorry, Packer fans. But you have 2 teams that are going to the Super Bowl next Sunday. I'm just saying. We got a whole week yet to talk about the big game. And Dave will be here next week to talk about the big game. We're going to talk about our big bet coming up next Saturday. We're going to hold it over for a week. And we're going to savor the flavor, so to speak, because it is a huge game. God, I was right. I know there's a big sigh of relief there, too, but God, I was right. By the way, I am going to poke a little bit at the people who emailed me and would send me messages and say, Tim, if you just did this, you'd be better at picks. Tim, if you just did this, you'd be better at picks. Let me remind a lot of you, I had a lot of 4-1 weeks, and I had 2 5-0 weeks this year. I don't see you guys doing that. I didn't see you guys putting your money where your mouth is with Bet Online. I didn't see a lot of you showing up with Bet Online and putting your money where your mouth was this week, this year, and playing along with us. So until you do, you can hold your emails for now. You know what I'm saying? You still have time, though. The big game is coming up next Sunday. Play along with Bet Online in our Sportsnet Challenge. It's hashtag Sportsnet Challenge if you're following along on Twitter. Join that conversation over on Twitter with hashtag Sportsnet Challenge. We want you to get in line and play along with us. This $5,000 season-long charity contest is ending soon. We've had some huge competition, some huge stuff going on with Adam Carolla, with Stone Cold Steve Austin. In fact, we've been giving him the stunner all season long, like that. Wham. Put that stack of dimes. Wham. We just give him the stunner every time we can. Telling you, we've been doing pretty good this season. But you can help us out come Super Bowl Sunday, because that game is a huge one. First of all, who do you pick? This is a huge game. San Francisco fans, you've got a complete team. They can run, they can throw, they can play pass defense, they can rush the passer, they can shut down the run game. They are a complete team. The Chiefs, they got a decent defense, but they can score from anywhere at any time. They can kill you. That's right. Kansas City Chiefs are something to behold. Again, Bet Online wants you to get in on the action. Bet Online wants you to get some of that action. Bet Online wants to make this Super Bowl one to remember for you. Be sure to go to betonline.ag right now and get in on the action. I know we are. We got our bets in for this Super Bowl. We're going to tell you about it coming up next Saturday. We want you to join us again. Hashtag Sportsnet Challenge on Twitter. We want to talk all about it with you coming up next Saturday. We're going to let you know what our picks are for the Super Bowl. Now, you think the Super Bowl is the only game in town. That's not true. The NBA schedule is out there. Basketball season's in full swing, kids. Lakers are at Boston. Huge rivalry game this week. Clippers are at Dallas. Phillies at Toronto. Denver at Houston. Lakers are back at Philly this week, and the Clippers are at Miami. And, of course, don't forget about college hoops. Butler is at Villanova, Illinois at Michigan, and Kentucky at Texas Tech. Visit betonline.ag. Don't forget that promo code PODCAST1 for your 50% sign-up bonus. That's right. We're hooking you up with this deal. Again, promo code PODCAST1 when you sign up for that 50% sign-up bonus. I'm telling you, betonline.ag, that's where you go. The promo code is PODCAST1 for your 50% sign-up bonus. We're hooking you up. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts.
Beyond the darkness.
Live supernatural news. Parashare aboard the Jericho 2 cruise, somewhere floating in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle, Tim. And we've got your supernatural news, but we've got a great audience here, Tim. This audience has now jumped up from 8 people to close to 13. What is somebody cut Eric off? This guy is drunk and out of control. We've got a Parashare story while I'm in the back of the boat. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Leah, and I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I've actually seen you guys at the Me Paracon in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We're going to be back there this year. This is my 10th anniversary.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I am a believer. I've done a couple of investigations myself locally in my own city. But probably the one that sticks out the most to my experience is... It was in the home that I grew up in, and my parents have divorced and moved away and remarried and whatnot. But current husband and I.
She's not sure which fucking husband she's dealing with. My husband, my current ex-husband, who's no longer my husband currently.
Right.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
My current husband and I had just gotten together, and he had a son from his first marriage, and he was not visiting with us at the time, and I was pregnant with our son.
Holy shit! I need a flow chart, a whiteboard and a marker, quick. Okay.
And my husband was working at Tim Hortons, by the way, at the time. So he was working the night shift. He was a baker at the time, and I was very pregnant. And I was almost asleep in the master bedroom, and of course no children around. It was just me in the house. And I hear a little girl come to my door, and I see my door open, and I hear, "Mommy, I'm scared." And so me, as a pregnant woman, I really wasn't afraid. I've lived in this house my entire life, so nothing ever really scared me in the house. But I kind of lifted the covers, and I said, "Okay, come and sleep with me." And I felt this little arm, come
This
around.
woman has apparently never seen one horror movie ever in the history of horror movies. You lift the blanket and say, "Come with me." You're under the safest blanket. Blankets are our savior.
Right.
You heard it. You heard Eric's story. Okay, so you invite Ghost Girl into bed with you.
I assumed it was a little girl, so
Okay.
I feel something come onto my bed, and I feel this little arm wrap around me, and all of a sudden it was gone. So I don't know if it was maybe a child looking for comfort, or I don't know. But
So your child that you were pregnant with
yes. Mm-hmm.
turned out to be?
A boy.
Oh, okay.
His name is Wyatt.
Wyatt. Okay, well, I thought maybe we were going to end up with the story of it was a little girl, and boom.
No, but
You suck at telling stories. That would be a much better ending. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome.
I always had the feeling, though, that I was having a girl, so I don't know if... I just got a huge surprise. It turned out to be a boy, so...
But Wyatt was surprised, too.
I bet.
He thought he was a girl crawling in bed with you. Boom, he's got a wiener. That's a weird thing. That's very cool. Who else had a story while I'm back here before we go to Supernatural News? All right, what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Jen. I'm from Long Island, New York.
Hi, how you doing, Jen, from Long Island, New York?
How are you?
Good.
So when I was a teenager, I probably a freshman in high school.
Okay.
So I skipped school.
Okay.
I told my parents I was good about it. And
Listen, I'm good about cheating. I tell everybody I'm doing it. Okay.
Growing up, I lived in an L ranch, so the computer was like in the middle of the house.
Okay.
And then when you picture an L, the L the longer side was the hallway full of bedrooms. The other side was towards the door, and the computer was in between.
Mm-hmm. Keep talking. Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Better?
Okay.
So I was playing on the computer, and all of a sudden I see a black shadow. I couldn't really figure out the shape of it, but it was a black shadow. I heard a loud bang. Couldn't tell if it was on the wall or if it was on the door. And then my house alarm went off. I, scared shitless, ran out of the... Am I allowed to say that? Sorry.
Fuck no, this is a family show.
I ran out of the house, leaving the alarm on. So the cops and everything came. My mom got called at work. She was pissed off. And she was
what?
She was pissed off.
What is that second word? What?
Okay, I'm from Long Island. I can't help it.
No, I like it. Tim, her mom was pissed off. Yeah, she had to put down a coffee to come all the way over there.
Did she put the coffee on, Dave?
Yes. All right, so mom's pissed off.
She's very ticked.
All right, is she pissed because you called the cops on a shadow figure, or is she just pissed that the shadow figure scaring you?
She got the call because...
She got the what? The call? The
I
call?
don't know how to say it.
All right, no, I like it. Go ahead.
She got it from Sloman's.
The Canadians are over there loving this. They're like, and they think we have an accent, eh?
I know, I do it so bad. So she got it because Sloman's called her. Sorry.
Sure.
Because I didn't turn off the alarm. I just ran the hell out of the house.
Sure. You're the smart one, right?
She came home. She's like, what the F? And I told her, I'm like, I just saw a black shadow. She's like, no, really, what happened? And I said, that's what happened. She didn't believe me. So then she asked Sloman what exactly caused the alarm to go off, and they couldn't. They had an error message. That was creepy.
Yeah. Did you hear that too?
Yes.
Good. So I'm not the only insane one.
I'm semi-insane. They had an error message. They didn't have a proper reading. It couldn't read the front door, zone 3 or whatever. Error. And they said they'd never seen that before. So
you were vindicated.
Yeah, but I was also scared shitless. I didn't stay home for a while after that.
No, wow, that's creepy. And did you ever have any more paranormal experiences after that?
Lots after that.
Really?
My mom actually ended up having a priest come to the house because it just got really creepy. My brother specifically.
Did your name used to be Reagan?
No.
What a lovely day for an exorcism. All right, so she had a priest come to bless the house.
Yes, because my brother had been sleeping, and I don't know if it was sleep paralysis now looking back at it being older, but he was sleeping and he felt pressing on his chest and like heavy breathing. That wasn't definitely, he said it wasn't like human breathing. It was hot and the way he explains it is like fuzzy breathing. I don't know what the hell that means, but
for a Scottish beard. Do you think I'm sexy and you want my body? So it's all right. I know I get. So it's more of like instead of just it's more kind of that kind of thing from the. See, I know fuzzy breathing when I hear it, Tim. Yeah, go ahead. So he felt it was more like a panty kind of.
Yeah, and he
not
woke
panty.
up.
That's a weird thing to say. Panting is what I meant to say. Yes.
So after that, she did call in a priest just to bless the house, and then after that, it's been fine. And that was, I was in high school, and I'm almost 30 now, so 15 years ago.
Wow.
At least.
Very cool. Have you had any experiences as an adult now, or no?
Not many, no.
No?
No, I kind of want to keep it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you change your mind, give me a call. I know things. I know people. We'll come back. I know we've got more stories to share. But Mr. Tim Dennis at the Supernatural News Desk has a story to share. What have we got next, Tim?
Well, Dave, there's these kids on TV I'm really rooting for. I'm hoping that someday they'll take off and make a name for themselves.
What's their names?
The Ghost Adventure guys.
Oh, yeah. How many people watch Ghost Adventures?
Yeah. Hoping...
3 people say yeah. This guy goes, yeah. All right, let's hear it for Ghost Adventures. All right.
Hoping someday they make a name for themselves. No, actually, it's kind of a sad story. Jay Wasley says the Goatman's Bridge investigation actually cost him his marriage. Yeah.
Do tell, Mr. Dennis.
I will. It was also the last episode that Jay's wife, Ashley Richardson, filmed with the crew. After having worked with them for many years. One of the paranormal investigations for Ghost Adventures cost a cast member his marriage. The latest episode of Ghost Adventures, Screaming Room, has revealed Aaron Goodwin, Jay Wasley, and Billy Tolley, along with Zach Baggins, while discussing the Goatman's Bridge investigation from 2011, revealing that Ashley Richardson, their still life photographer who was married to Jay at the time, was never the same after that investigation. The Goatman's Bridge, also known as the Old Alton Bridge, is a historic iron truss bridge connecting the Texas cities of Denton and Copper Canyon, just a little bit north of Canada, Dave.
Yes, I can picture it in my mind perfectly.
Yeah, it's right there. Built in 1884, it has quite the gruesome story. Legend has it that an African-American goat farmer named Oscar Washburn moved with his family to a residence just north of the bridge. Washburn had become a successful local businessman and was called the Goatman as a term of endearment. Unfortunately, Washburn was hung on the bridge by the Klansmen. They kidnapped him and took him to the bridge before noosing him and throwing him off. However, when they had looked down to see if he was dead, the noose was empty. Then the men slaughtered his whole family. There have been many claims of the sightings of the Goatman when locals crossed the bridge at night. During the investigation, Ashley is suddenly overcome with anger and emotion and for no reason at all wants to hurt Zach. Then when she later goes into the woods to face her fears, she is attacked on the leg and hit on the head. So much so that she had a bruise. Jay recalls that their divorce was hugely due to that investigation and that they could never go back after they had been on Goatman's Bridge, this according to Jay. It was also the last episode that Ashley filmed with the crew after having worked with them for many years. Jay says that the two struggled for years to come, or to terms rather, with what had happened, but couldn't. The crew also experienced physical harm during the filming, with Zach choking himself with no provocation and Aaron being thrown back on the bridge.
Yeah, I've actually worked with Jay Wasley and his ex-wife when we did Paranormal Challenge and when I did episodes of Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
Last time I saw her, I think, was on the Stardust Ranch episode.
Oh, okay.
When we worked, and they're both lovely people. But I was really surprised when Jay told me that they got a divorce, because at that time he wasn't really forthcoming with the reasoning behind it. He just said that the show, the raw nature and the paranormal got to her, and then that was because the episode, I believe, hadn't aired yet, so they were really, cautious with that. All right, have we got another story to share before I get back into the audience?
We do, Dave, and this is a little bit more of an awkward relationship story.
Eric, you're going to like this one.
You're going to love this one, Eric. Gals, cover your ears.
Okay.
There's a man in Limerick, Dave, and I know this does sound like a limerick.
Was he from Alsace? Something made out of brass?
Something like
they
that.
They them together, they play stormy weather, and lightning would shoot out his ass?
A little
That's
bit.
a limerick, kids, in case you don't know. Thank you. Yeah, all right.
This man comes from Limerick. He's a little bit heartbroken because it turns out he's got an ex-girlfriend who took his virginity. Unfortunately, he
don't we all? We all have an ex-girlfriend that took our virginity.
Well, we do, Dave, but most of them are...
Good point, Kayla.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Way to go,
played.
Kayla.
The Canadian got me.
Yep, she trumped your joke.
Yep.
Unfortunately, this one isn't here on this earth.
Yeesh.
Yeah,
what?
She's a ghost girlfriend, an ex-ghost girlfriend who...
Ex-ghost girlfriend.
Yeah, and he's mourning quite heavily, Dave.
Okay.
He can't get over this ghost girlfriend that popped his cherry. Earmuffs, Canadian kiddies. 30-year-old Rob Mack. He's not quite a Mac if he's mourning a ghost.
Sure he is. He lost his virginity to a ghost. If that ain't Mackin', I don't know what is.
Says he lost his virginity to his first love, a ghost called Molly, who was once haunting his home.
I took some Molly once, and I don't think I remember losing my virginity the same way.
That's exactly how you lose your virginity to a ghost, is by popping too much Molly. And if you pop Molly good enough, well. But heartbroken Rob says he never had a chance to say goodbye, Dave.
Aww.
I know.
Never can say goodbye. That just happens, Tim. Wait, let me get this straight. This guy didn't have to take her on a date. Didn't have to buy her dinner. Didn't have to take her on the Jericho cruise.
No.
He got laid.
Yep.
Didn't have to say goodbye, and he's bitching about it.
Still had to clean the sheets, though.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Rob's revelation came to light in a trailer for the new season of First Dates Ireland. Don't you wish you had Irish TV?
Wow.
Yeah.
First Dates Ireland.
Yeah.
So I was out having a little bit of a fun time, you see. Suddenly my girlfriend Molly shows up.
Or did she?
So this is a TV show? This is the love story they're sharing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. When he opened up
I thought The Bachelor was bad.
Yeah. He's on First Dates Ireland. And now tell me if this is going to win a girl over, because he actually admits this to his date Leona, who is real, in the flesh, sitting down with her and says, "Hi, Leona, here's the deal. Me first love was a ghost. And boy, did I go to town on her.
And then I made me a balloon and I floated away."
Right.
All right.
Yeah. And he admitted it to her. Okay. Ahead of his TV debut.
Well, that is an icebreaker in a conversation, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Rob spoke to, ahead of his debut, Rob spoke to 2FM's Jennifer Zamparelli, who I'm sure walked away from the conversation at some point, about the romantic paranormal experience. She's a white entity, Rob said. She would come into... How did he know? She's a ghost.
Let's find out.
She's a white entity. She would come into my room, stand in the corner, look at me and smile, said Rob, adding that he never felt fear.
So he saw her. That's how he knew she was a white ghost.
I guess. This entity started appearing to me frequently, and the relationship between her and I developed in terms of her understanding and neutering, and her just being so kind.
Neutering?
Yeah, that's what he said.
You mean nurturing?
No, it says neutering.
I think that's definitely a misspelling.
Neutering.
So it made me bad when she shows up and tries to neuter me, you see.
Maybe.
I said, couldn't we just have sex instead?
Maybe Molly was a huge Bob Barker fan.
Could be. I don't know. Spay and neuter, you're human.
No idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, Canadian kids, earmuffs. Rob goes on
the
to
American kids, they can just listen? Is that what you're saying?
American kids, they learn this stuff at 8.
I guess.
Rob goes on to say, one night it did progress into something very physical, and yeah, it happened 3 times.
Maybe a half a time. This guy's lying through his teeth, right?
I think Molly probably got up to get a sandwich and he was still going, is what happened. When asked by a curious Jen how one has sex with a ghost, Rob delved a little further into the details, explaining that she literally got on top of the bed and straddled me. Imagine that one.
I am. Trying not to. Praying to God the young girls next to me are not thinking about it. Feeling really awkward Nikki right now.
Rob goes on to say, it was different. I've never taken drugs in my life, but I'd imagine that's what it feels like. It was very euphoric. It was amazing, he gushed. Rob explained that he gushed. Come on, this is a sappy Irish guy who did it with the air.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Rob explained that after their sexual...
I swear, Mom, I wasn't jacking off. It was a ghost.
I didn't hit the ceiling fan for nothing, Mom. Rob explained
He's
that...
always one step over the line, sweet Jesus. One step over the line.
That's not stucco.
God.
Rob explained that after their sexual encounters,
Jesus,
the
these
house...
Canadian girls' parents are going to be sending us therapy bills for decades.
No. It's totally doesn't understand it, which is the best part. Me and my sister can.
I don't want to know that you and your sister understand it either, Kayla. You're 12. All right.
Rob went on to explain that after their sexual encounters, the house became hostile and beyond active. Something yes, it became marriage. Thank you. Yes.
Wow. Jesus, the Canadians getting filthy mouth now.
Easy there,
God.
Trudeau. It became ghostly.
Trudeau.
Ghostly active. It became hostile and beyond active.
I'm just praying the Kraken pulls this shit down right now and takes us all with him.
Something he thinks may have been in revenge from a husband he didn't know Molly had.
I guess.
Yeah, so evidently Molly was hitched. We had to flee the apartment, Rob went on to say. There were plates smashing, lights turning on and off. It was absolutely crazy. We ran out of there, literally. When asked about the woman who was forced to divorce the 300-year-old pirate when he turned against her.
That's
there's
another story
there's
from
a
last
pirate.
year.
Yeah,
married a pirate ghost.
Rob said he envies her opportunity to end the relationship.
Good God. All right, let's take the microphone away from Tim and get back to the audience. I need a shower. All right, we've got Eddie and the Cruisers. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name's Debbie. I'm also from Long Island, New York.
Oh, Debbie. Did you know your friend from Long Island behind you?
No, I don't.
You do now?
I do now.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
All right, Debbie from Long Island, New York.
Yes.
What's your story?
I have one story that actually was my dad's, something that he knew about.
Okay.
And then it's like a couple things like that happened to me that kind of are related.
All right.
But I'll say what happened to my dad. He told me this. He had a customer at his job that told him this, and that one day he looked into the mirror when he was getting ready, and he saw a demon's face looking back at him, and he became a priest after that. But like I don't
Wait,
know.
this is your dad?
No, this was someone my dad knew, but
okay.
my dad told me though.
All right.
And my dad was like one of the most like religious like people like ever.
Gotcha.
So he believed all of this, and like the man he said, was describing to him what the demon looked like, that he saw it in the mirror. He was just like cleaning up in the in the bathroom in the morning, and he just looked up and he saw a demon's face instead of his own, and he was like that was it. He joined the priesthood, and
so do you think in hell that day a demon went in to go do his shaving, looks up in the mirror and sees a Catholic guy, and he's like, shit, what's that?
Yeah, right.
God damn it, I'm going to become a demon after this, right? He's freaked out. What does that side got to look like to them? So did the demon face seem to see him as well?
I honestly don't know if that happened, but after he became a priest, he never saw it again.
Okay.
So, but that was just like one thing that my dad told me. But like for myself, that the house that I grew up in was very, very old. It was in my dad's family, and there are certain places in the house that I would just get you get the willies that you just don't feel right. And one of those places was the bathroom, And both my mom and myself, we've had experiences in the bathroom where we felt like somebody was watching us, and like every hair on the back of my neck like just stood up, and I swore there was somebody standing there, but there was nobody there. And it happened to my mom too. And this other thing, like
bathroom ghosts are the weirdest, aren't they?
It was terrifying. It really was, honestly, because you could feel like somebody staring at you, like you get that feeling. But I'm
pretty sure no ghosts haunt my bathroom at all. Because when they see what I do in there, they want no part of it.
Yeah.
This side or the other side.
No,
Good God, man! Stop eating so much wheat.
Believe me, I understand.
Yeah.
But for myself, like directly, like now as an adult,
yes.
In the apartment that I live in, things disappear. Like I'll put something down and it's gone, and then it'll show up again weeks later.
In a totally different place.
Totally different place. It's very, very strange because I just put it there.
Apportation.
And it's gone. And it's not really funny, but at my job we used to joke that it was built on an Indian burial ground because of all the bad luck that happened there. And there are a lot of Native American. They had a large Native American population on Long Island, and so we moved. We had a brand new building, just like a half a mile away, and now we still say that about this building because brand new machinery doesn't work. Things are going missing. All kinds of like crazy stuff happens for no apparent reason. The computers go down, the phones don't work, or like all the extensions get changed by themselves on the phone. It's really weird. And just lastly, I don't know how paranormal is really considered, but more so when I was younger, I used to have dreams of events, and they happened maybe
those are premonitions. Those are right in the wheelhouse of paranormal, right?
Yeah, they would happen again, and I still have them. Not as much as when I was a kid, but I still have them, and they completely freak me out because I'm like, okay, I dreamt this. I know what's about to happen, and sure enough, it happens, and it really freaks me out.
Is it ever something you're able to control? Like you see it, so the next day or when it happens, you're able to change the outcome?
When I was a kid, no, because I didn't really understand what was happening. Mm-hmm. Now, as an adult, if I'm aware of it, I do try, to see if I can change it a little bit. But then I don't remember until it starts happening. And then I remember I've seen this before, I've done this before, so I'm not really sure if I could do it or not. I just, all of a sudden, it just is like, this, I've been here before, this has happened.
Jeez, very creepy. Cool. Thank you very much for sharing with us. Who else had a story back here in the back? Nobody? I'm making my way forward. We're getting closer to the Canadians. All right, hold on. Before we get the Canadians, you will get the last word today, but we've got this gentleman in the back. What's your name? Where are you from?
Name's Chad from Iowa.
Hi, Chad from Iowa.
I got a couple, actually.
Okay.
One real fast one. My grandfather died before my parents even got married.
Okay.
Then came along me, ta-da, and then when I was probably 3, my dad used to yell at me because I used to play with a soccer ball in a hallway. He used to yell, "Knock it off, stop bouncing that ball off the wall." And then my mom started watching and paying attention and said, "The ball ain't hitting the wall." Because they moved the chair to be able to watch me. Ball would come back.
So Grandpa, you think, was playing catch with you?
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Now,
do you ever remember seeing him?
Here's where it gets awesome.
Okay.
I would go out to my dad's side grandparents, and I used to sit out on the swing, do all that stuff. Now you gotta think this is 1981.
Okay.
Kids were getting snatched up left and right.
Right.
Well, where I'm from, Johnny Gosh.
Right, we've done a show on Johnny, right?
Okay. Now, he was probably taken about 15 miles away from where I was playing.
Okay.
I told my grandparents, "Oh, there's a guy out in the bushes that watches me swing." My grandma started watching. Like, who's this creepy guy watching my grandson?
Right.
Because I see him. And then about 2 years later, everybody in the family knows the story now. 2 years later, another family member comes over, and they break out the book of family photos. Flipping through. I come up and go, him. And they're like, what? That's who watches me. And they're like, that's your other grandpa. And you've never met him. And I'm like, I know it's him. And it was cool.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So Grandpa was still hanging around.
Yeah.
And apparently Eric liked that he dropped money in the tip jar.
Yeah.
Oh, you got more? All right, go ahead. Okay.
Here's the one that tripped me out the most. I remember it to like the T.
All right.
And if I talk to my mom about it, I will tear up to my mom.
Okay.
When I was about 6, her best friend got breast cancer, and she spent months going back and forth to the hospital with it, you know, to see her and stuff like that. Now, before she passed, she told my mom a few best friend things, you know. Now, like I said, I was probably 6. She passed away. 3 days later, I come out of my room, start eating cereal, and I look up at my mom and I said, it's going to be okay. And she says, what's going to be okay? And I said, well, I was visited last night by your best friend. And she said, it's going to be okay. Stop crying. We'll meet again sitting on a rock underneath a tree. And my mom started bawling immediately. And she goes, who told you this? And, you know, I had to explain. Okay. And she goes, what was she wearing? I said, she was wearing a white gown, which she was buried in. I wasn't allowed to go to the funeral. And it had 3 big roses that were a part of this dress. Her mom handmade the dress to bury her daughter in.
Wow.
And I said, the funny thing is, she didn't have shoes on. And my mom said, she didn't get buried in shoes. And I was like, well, okay. Went right back to my Fruit Loops. Like, it was no big deal.
Today's episode is brought to you by Fruit Loops.
Yeah, sell it to Post.
That's cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, we're coming into the end, Tim. We've got literally a minute and a half. I've been promising the Canadians. Kayla, you have a story. You're not sure it's a paranormal story? You have to hold the microphone yourself.
There's a
Up by your mouth.
There's a couple that I've actually experienced.
Okay, let's hear 'em.
So I couldn't remember if this was me for the life of myself. Like, I couldn't remember. My mom had told me.
Okay.
Apparently, when I was a baby, I would get these awful, awful nightmares. Like, I'd be screaming. Like, this was when I was first born. Like, I'm talking a couple weeks old.
Okay.
I had an older sister who passed away. I never met her. She just, no one ever got to see her alive, right? So my mom had a cross that was Leah's cross, my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd get these awful nightmares, and they've come back. But when I was a baby, my mom put a cross above my crib, and they went away immediately. And then after I had, like in 2019, about, I want to say, mid-August, almost late August, I had put up a little fabric thing that my grandma had gotten me, because she's a priest, so my grandma and I are really close. It had a cross on it. I got nightmares for weeks and weeks and weeks, telling me some pretty horrible things. And then a few weeks later, I ended up in the hospital from an attempt of suicide. Weeks and weeks and weeks.
Do you think that this was breaking you down? This was causing these suicidal thoughts?
The nightmares were definitely on top of that, but last year I was definitely struggling with some mental illnesses and illness problems. But yeah, I'd first gotten diagnosed last year, and they had the nightmares had come back as like almost as I put the thing back up. And it's actually still down in the room, but after I got out of the hospital for the third time that year, I moved from my room up to beside my parents' room because they were just terrified. But I remember definitely that as soon as I put the cross up, it came back, like everything. And I started wearing a cross around my neck, and after I got back from the hospital, they went away. And it terrifies me. Like, I broke my other gold one, and I only have one left, so I never take this one off. Like, I didn't bring any of my other jewelry with me to the Bahamas and stuff like that for the cruise, but I brought the cross because if I took it off and put it back on, I'd be terrified.
Well, good. You found something that anchors you.
Yeah.
Something that's really powerful is the prayer of St. Michael the Archangel. And if that's just something you want to evoke every night, Michael the Archangel protects us against the snares and entrapments of the devil and keep us protected, all right? So that's a really good one if you have a theological background at all. Utilize that and keep it on the open, but be open. If these things start breaking you down, if you start feeling dark thoughts, anything like that, and you're afraid to tell your family, you can always email dave@darknessradio.com, talk it out, get it out, don't go back down that same pathway.
I've definitely come a long way from the end of August.
Excellent.
Sometimes I'll get reoccurring thoughts. It's been a lot lately of reoccurring thoughts of the night that I was in the hospital. My dad was laying with me in the hospital bed for the whole night, and it's something that it doesn't make me feel like too sad. I get this odd feeling like I could have gone down a really, really bad path that night, and I feel like there was a couple more people that I couldn't see, but I could feel that were there with me that night, and I'm really, really thankful for that.
Well, we are too. Thank you very much for sharing your story and being open with us. Glad to have Kayla still with us, huh? Yeah. Thank you, Kayla. Very cool. Thank you all for sharing your stories with us and being a part of the program live here on the Jericho Cruise. It's been a pleasure meeting all of you. Tim and I will be around if you want to come on up and tell us any other stories, share with us. You can always email me, dave@darknessradio.com, if you have stories you'd like to share. Or we do have a phone number that you can call. I don't remember it off the top of my head. 651-300-4977. There you go. 651-300-4977. Now you know why I have him here, folks. He's good at remembering those things. And you can email us, phone calls, and that phone number gives you right to our voicemail. You can leave your stories on there. It's about a 3-minute recording. If you have a longer story, just hang up, call right back, and pick up where you left off, and we will stitch those stories together seamlessly, put them back on the air to be a part of the program. Thank you all for being a part of our world. Thank you for being a part of the Jericho Cruise. Give yourself a wild round of applause. I'm Dave Schrader. This is Tim Dennis. You've been listening to the best in paranormal talk radio. This is Beyond the Darkness.